election of President Barack Obama. He called us to service as there remains much work to do to end unemployment, poverty, and crime in our communities. There's so many books on how we can accomplish this. But this year, everyone's raving about this summer's hottest new book, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America by Chicago's own Emmanuel Barbee. A graduate of Northeastern Illinois University, Barbee addresses key ways we back our families and communities. But unlike so many other books on this topic, Barbee captivates his reader, presenting solutions through a riveting life story. It's entertaining, it's different, it's exciting. The perfect book club selection. Don't be left out. Get your copy of The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America. Order today at Amazon.com.
Greetings, family. Welcome to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. If you are new to this channel or podcast, then please subscribe and share our content with your friends. This will help grow our audience. I have provided a written transcript in the group with the same name on Facebook for those of you who don't speak English, or so that way you can have you can read it for yourself, the written speech. I also cite all of my sources under Show and Prove section, where you can find all of my work under the About section on my YouTube channel. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from the podcast community. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships, grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. Our goal this year is to raise $500,000 for our film project, Hood Liberator Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. I would like to thank those of you who have donated to our film project already. I encourage people from my friends list and people in my social groups who want to be part of our film project to please send me your email address to my Facebook inbox. We will hold a private conference through Google Meetings to discuss the best methods of reaching others via social media, people on your friends list, donors, and local businesses. I am just sharing information about our film project through our virtual store, our nonprofit, Ghettos of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago, through our PayPal page, and my author page. Those of you who work with us will go down in history with me and Sister Renee. I don't have another 29 years to waste. I want to talking to people who don't care. I'm trying to reach brave and smart, like-minded Black people and African people who are woke. Ghettos of Chicago mission is to help eradicate urban violence in Chicago through our programs and services. Our objective is to build a bridge between the diaspora and continental Africans through art, culture, and commerce. Ghettos of Chicago will be in the business of creating docudramas, short films, theater, photography, fine arts, music, poetry, literature, sculpture, and dance for inner city youth and their families. Once this virus is cleaned up, we plan on launching African tours in order for us to move from behind a computer and make real connections with our global Black family on the continent, starting in South Africa. So I need my South African friends, people that's on my friends list, especially if you're an African entrepreneur, to connect with me. This is real. I'm going to bring the diaspora to the continent. I created created Gurkam, the grassroots community activist movement, because I got tired of all of the division among black people. Pan-Africanism was not working for black people. I wanted to start a new movement for black people to unite based on individuals who care about solving black issues. I created Gurkam in 1991 on a site called Gopher. I wanted to create an organization that focused specifically on solving black issues in America. I wanted to connect with other like-minded black Americans, Afro-Brazilians, Afro-Caribbeans, Afro-Europeans, African immigrants, and African Latinos throughout the diaspora. This is a podcast where we talk about solving black issues, African issues, using a spiritual perspective as it pertains to the great awakening of our people that has been prophesied. Our objective is to get our film project fully funded and play it by ear during COVID-19. Once this virus is cleaned up, then we will shoot our film and promote our film in selected movie theaters and sell our DVDs. Together, we will put Gurkam on the map and turn my vision for Black America into reality. I understand that many of you have families and are working 2 and 3 jobs to make ends meet. If you are unable to participate, no worries. When you are able to listen, please leave a comment, good or bad, and share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Tonight's segment is entitled Chaos at the State Capitol. I want to talk about the chaos which took place last Wednesday, January 6th in Washington, D.C. I want to warn my listeners about being prepared and give an analysis from a black perspective. Whatever you do, please stock up on canned goods, vegetables, and toiletries, because we don't know the outcome of these events. So be prepared if a civil war breaks out or if martial law will be instituted. Prep for your health and well-being before the inauguration on Wednesday, January 20th. Everyone has seen the chaos which happened last week in Washington, D.C. We have not seen nothing yet. The next crisis will be food shortage. In 2021 and beyond, the grassroots community activist movement will be promoting a policy of global black unity, ownership, and community support. Our objective is to be in a place where we own everything, we consume, and we support one another. We're reaching out to our group members and listeners and would like to encourage them to support our film project, Hood Liberator, Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. Why? Because that's coming from my book, but unfortunately a lot of our people don't like to read, so I'm just trying to take my story to the next level, and that's trying to get it on the big screen in order to reach the masses. Now, once I start making money, mark my words, everybody's going to want to be a part of this organization. But I'm going to just say up front, ain't nothing changing. Everyone will be screened. Because I do not associate with con artists, hardened criminals, urban terrorists, rapists, pedophiles. That kind of those type of people are not allowed up in my organization. And I'm just being real. Keep in mind, community support is where we have to go. And please understand, When you're supporting our YouTube channel or our podcast, you're supporting an independent black network, which will eventually employ black people in our films, stage plays, and in our actual business. I need African entrepreneurs, especially South Africans, to come on the show and promote your businesses and ministries to the diaspora and vice versa. With that being said, we got a lot of things to talk about. For those of you who have watched the videos about the Trump insurgents who attempted a coup in Washington, D.C., Trump supporters stormed the United States Capitol building. There was no National Guard dispersed. White supremacist groups walked through the Capitol building with very little resistance. We saw the police remove barriers in order for pro-Trump supporters to enter the building. They had automatic pistols, bombs, and plastic ties. With the murder of Capitol Hill police officer Brian Sticknick, everyone who entered the Capitol building is guilty of murder. The mainstream media is trying to plant a false narrative. Mainstream media have compared the response to the way police respond to black protesters, like the Black Lives Matter protests. When a black person is alleged to have looted a store during a protest, we are met with armed vehicles, military presence, and guns pointed at us. They use rubber bullets, smoke bombs, but with the mega crowd, none of that occurred, and many people are pointing out the hypocrisy. We're going to get empty lies about an open investigation. You can't get no more insurrectionists than to storm the United States Capitol building. Here is where black people fall for Democrats acting surprised. The Democrats are just complicit with this mess as the Republicans. The Democrats embolden these white supremacists. Do the research. Most of these killings of black people are done in Democratic-run cities. These Democratic prosecutors, mayors, and district attorneys turn a blind eye to all of these rogue cops harming black people. They knew law enforcement has been infiltrated by white supremacist groups. Now that white supremacists has ran up into the Senate building, it's nothing for them to run up into a black elected official's home. This is why cooning don't pay, because when white supremacists don't need them any longer, all of a sudden they want to slide back into the black community. No thanks to the members of the Congressional Black Caucus, because they haven't done anything for black people. Do the research. That's the price you pay for allowing criminals to infiltrate law enforcement. They had a mission and they were bold enough to execute their mission, all because they were on code. We have to get codified as black people and have to stop this plantation nonsense. Otherwise, we will be annihilated in America. This is history repeating itself. The night Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, the insurrectionists went after his cabinet, the vice president, secretary of state, etc. They were attempting to decapitate the U.S. government in one night. After the Civil War, Robert Lee was allowed to go back to Virginia. He became an Ivy League professor teaching insurrection to the next generation. Jefferson Davis, the president of the Confederacy, did a brief prison sentence. President Andrew Johnson decided to give him a pardon. This guy led the largest insurrection that the country ever seen, and now it's being a second insurrection. Donald Trump has done Black America a favor. He has woke the black masses. The United States has always put up a phony front to the world, lecturing China about human rights abuses when America is killing black people on video for the world to see. There is a segment of the population who is never told that they're wrong, and they are never punished. I guarantee you won't hear Joe Biden making a pledge that this unprecedented attack on the nation's sovereignty is going to be punished. They need to be hit with sedition and terrorism charges, but none of them are talking about introducing legislation that will criminalize white supremacist groups. They committed treason against the United States, but many of them are out on bail. Notice, none of the right-wing evangelical Christians like Paula White are criticizing their own party for storming the Capitol building because they are all on code. We already have the RICO Act and the Patriot Act on the books to go after them. Instead, we have journalists from the Washington Post saying this is government overreaching. Black people need to stop agitating the situation. I'm just reading between the lines. Clearly, we're not against the against the attempted coup. What happened on Wednesday was a massive crime. They're making a few arrests. There was thousands of people involved. This is a perfect example of white privilege. Part of that incentive is that they can get immunity from the law, even treason. I am from Generation X. Our generation is the first generation of Americans born after the Civil Rights era. We were supposed to be the generation who would be part of the post-racial society, but it was a lie. The dominant society expected us to play along with what happened was we started to wake up. This country propaganda arm is mainstream media, which is the white media. They gave the image that race relations were improving until they murdered Emmett Till. It all came to an end when they assassinated Dr. King. History books don't mention the murder of Fred Hampton. If you are upset with Donald Trump for his blatant racism, then you should be equally upset with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for theirs. Joe Biden spent 35 years in the U.S. Senate, and every day was spent attacking black people through legislation, and he was promoted 8 years as vice president. In contrast, Kamala Harris spent 25 years using the laws Joe Biden wrote in order to attack black people. You have both of these career politicians weaponizing the law against us. The racism that Donald Trump has galvanized did not begin with him. What that means is once he is out of office, the problem will continue. The real threat are the ones who pretend to like us and sympathize toward our issues, like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Neither Joe Biden or Kamala Harris done anything about road cops killing black people like Patrice Richardson or Oscar Grant. We are unprepared to fight white supremacists, not because we lack the resources, but rather because we lack the will and focus. Many blacks desire to be like by the oppressor class, then being totally free. Anytime someone tries to tell you that America's record on race was better before Trump, ask them when. Ever since the gains our people made during the civil rights movement, both political parties entered into a partnership to weaponize the law against us. All 50 states passed laws. If you were convicted of a felony, you could not vote in that state. Then they began mass incarceration. I'm going to say back in the mid 80s and 90s, of black people writing laws to criminalize anything a black person does to make sure it ends up as a felony. That took them off the voter rolls, which means they don't have the ability to elect someone into public office. This will all of this stuff that took place, like I say, last Wednesday was horrible, but this is the day and age that we're living in. Black people, right now, I just want to talk to those that's woke, the ones that want to remain asleep. You know, we can't help them. We pray for them. We show them tough love, and we're going to have to keep it moving. I've been on Facebook for 16 years. I created all of my social groups, both my Christian groups and my secular groups, both represent the grassroots community activist movement. I had this organization on other social networks. I'm going to say back in probably, let's say, 2000, between 2004 and 2005, I noticed that a lot of my groups were starting to get shut down, and I used to be on Black Planet for a while, and you know, it was popping on there for a minute, but sure enough, a lot of those sites was being shut down. The groups were being wiped out. So that's how come I keep telling people that's on my friends list, especially those that's in my social groups on Facebook, exchange emails with me so that way we can stay connected. That's very important because eventually they're going to get rid of these groups on Facebook. And that's why I want to make sure I have my online group members to be able to connect with me on my Twitter page. All you have to do is type in, I go by Emmanuel 29. That's EMANUEL, the number 29 on Twitter. So you can connect with me on there. Again, but the best way to really connect with me is through emails, to exchange emails with me so that way we can stay connected. Again, too, I want us to move this organization from behind a computer. Yes, it's been extremely tough, you know, trying to find other like-minded people because I'm going to be real, I know a lot of people are afraid. But this is not, that's why I want to screen people, because I don't want the ones that want to call themselves, want to fight head up with the white supremacists and, you know, all that kind of stuff, because we're not in a position to do that. They, you know, the laws are on their side first and foremost, and plus we are only 12% of the population. So, black people that's truly woke, our best effort is to reconnect with our ancestral homeland, which is Africa. I want the best of the diaspora, because when we go to Africa, we want to help improve the African infrastructure. Roads, roads, bridges, help with wind, solar, technology, bring those type of things, and create jobs for, our local brothers and sisters. That's why I want to go there. I'm not just going there just to leave America. And I want us to apply for dual citizenship because our ancestors are the ones that built this country. Now, again, a lot of us are not going to be able to leave, even though if they wanted to, because they might have a felony. And that's how come I'm saying in this Christian business, we're going to have a second chance program for ex-offenders for nonviolent crimes, homeless individuals in the community, and former gang members that's truly, that put down, killing other black people and all those things. But bottom line, I want to screen everyone because I want to make sure people are going to be on the up and up with me. And if you're serious about being part of this organization, I'm asking everyone that's on my friends list, everyone that's in my social groups, especially my Christian groups, Light of the World Inspirational Group, and Christian Spoken Word Network. Purchase my ebook on Amazon.com. Read my story for yourself. If you agree with the vision that my Lord and Savior has given me, which is Jesus Christ, his other name is Yahshua, then make yourself known. Again, I just want us to make a quality film. I want to talk about my experience. Well, not talk about it. I just want to show it on film about, my story. We're not going to be in my, like I had in my book, and I believe, this is spiritual warfare at its best. We're not going to emphasize, or glamorize the lifestyle of being a criminal, because that's what's getting our young people caught up. That's why a lot of us our young people are in jail, increasing that mass incarceration, because they are trying to make fast money. And, there's a lot of money out there, but, you're going to get caught up. It's a trap. And so to me, that's like, you volunteering to be a slave. So again, yes, I can't reach everybody, and everybody's don't want to be part of the solution. The Grassroots Community Activist Institute, we want to raise that bar. That's why we're bringing it to the inner cities. And I'm trying my best to reach out to our black middle class professionals, because that's who they need to see as role models. Those are the ones that got the talents and skills to help make this organization successful, effective, and productive. And that's the same group of people, black middle class professionals, I want to bring also over to the continent, the best of the diaspora, to help improve the infrastructure in Africa, because we want to go out to those shanty towns in South Africa and help build up standard, I would say, apartments, something where our people can live with dignity. That's what I want to do, and we want to make South Africa an example, so that way we can expand it to 10 other African nations. I hope I can do all of this within my lifetime. Again, it's been 29 years that I've been reaching out to Black America, and a lot of them are just, still looking at me dumbfounded and, taking me for joke. But again, I'm doing the best that I can within my power, praying about this stuff, asking God to please connect me with brave and smart, like-minded black people and African people to come forth to work with me and Sister Renee. I do have a lot of contributors, well, a handful of contributors around the country that has been helping and donating. So I'm very grateful for that. But we need more, because I have at least 1,000 people on my friends list on Facebook. I need to transfer those. I need those same people to subscribe to my YouTube channel to help make that channel grow. And that's where I want us to really go to. Connect with me on the YouTube, so that way we can bounce out ideas from one another, promote each other, and also be able to eventually start our own network where we don't have to depend on, places like Facebook and YouTube, because, we're being censored now because it's not our own. We don't really own it. So, with all that being said, thank you all for listening. Eventually, I am going to open up my podcast to my listeners, where they can just speak directly, because that's what I want. I want us to do this interaction. I don't want to just be doing all the talking. And yes, I am reading my speeches. No shame, long as I'm getting my message out there. But I want to make sure that I'm staying focused on what I'm saying, because I'm not on here to be playing games. I'm here to I'm doing my best to recruit brave and smart people. And my book, again, is my credibility. This show is my credibility. I'm doing what I can while I can. And all those that's on my friends list that don't care about solving black issues or black empowerment, please do me a favor. Delete yourself off my friends list, because you're just taking up space. I want people on here that really care about solving black issues. Now, as it pertains to our non-black sympathizers, they're welcome to be a part of this organization, but at this point in time, black people are the ones that has to take the lead, because this is for us. This is organization that's supposed to be able to be passed down to the next generation. But again, that's how come, in my film, I'm going to point out, all of the reason why it's taking so long is because a lot of our people are just want to, it's like a sit and wait approach. Like I say, once I start making money from this, then that's when they're going to want to come forward and all that kind of stuff. And as a Christian, I forgive those who rejected me for the past 29 years. But if I catch you, any one of you, at our live mandatory orientations, I'm going to call you out, and I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm just being real about that, because I want to declare war on this Willie Lynch mentality within the black culture, and that's part of that Willie Lynch mentality. There's a lot of our people that got the talents and skills to help make this organization go far, but they would rather sit back and see me fail. But this is not about Emmanuel Barbee. This is about our children that's being slaughtered. That's why I call it Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos. I can't sit up here and sugarcoat that. It is what it is. And if black people don't take the lead in this to help stop the genocide of our killing of our youth, with this, the urban terrorists that's terrorizing the community. How in the world do you expect other people to get involved? It just, that's just what we're dealing with. But I want to be remembered for trying to do something. I'm not making this all about myself. I'm going to those inner cities so I can create jobs through this business. Work with broken families. And we have that spiritual component where people can have can grow spiritual development, where you can grow closer with your creator. So I'm not, on here trying to impose, my religious beliefs on people. I'm here to serve. We want to meet the need. That's what makes us different. That's what makes this organization different from all these black other organizations that's already out there. This is about, first of all, this is based on my experience. And second of all, we want to work with people that want more out of life. Rather than complaining about the white man and the government, we'll do the best that we can in terms of put in group economics. We're going to practice that by pooling our resources together. That's why I'm not reaching out to the financial elites. This goes against their system. They wouldn't fund this thing anyway. This is black empowerment, something positive. So, all of those of you that's on my friends list, all I can say is, please do your part. I can't do everything. I laid down the groundwork. So, it's up to you to do the rest. And I'm praying that it will come to pass in my lifetime. Peace and blessings, and I want all my listeners to be safe out there.